Hey, y'all, listen. Welcome into the building, okay? It's Friday night. It's trending topics. We got stuff to talk about. I'm glad y'all are spending the time with me, okay? I appreciate y'all. Sorry, trying to keep and get my water in, okay? So getting the water in. But I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for being here. The title is called, What Should I Do? What should I do? So we're in a particular moment in time in history. And that, Tara, look at you out the gate. I appreciate you. Much love, girlfriend. Thank you so much. Always coming through and supporting. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you for being here on Friday night for Trending Topics. Much love. Appreciate you. So we're in a particular time period in history where prices are high, benefits are being revoked, people are not sure what they're going to eat tomorrow, let alone if they're going to be able to stay in their apartment or feed their kids. And this Condé Nast, I'm a big magazine person, very old school, right? I still like to physically look through Vogue. I still get Essence magazine, but these publications, they're nowhere near what they used to be when more people actually still bought magazines. I still, when I'm in the supermarket, sometimes I buy the Better Homes magazine. I'm still a magazine girl, but not too many people, or a lot of people now, everything is digital. They love their digital. And digital in terms of magazines and stuff like that is cheaper. So anyway, this Condé Nast, they have under their umbrella, they're responsible for Vogue, Teen Vogue, and some other magazine publications. So like many jobs, unfortunately, they, what do you call it? They're doing a lot of layoffs. And you know, all of these jobs, I feel like HR got to do better when it comes to layoffs. And the reason why I'm saying that is because a lot of times people hear all the rumors before the layoffs actually start happening. That rise up people's anxiety, especially in an economy like this, right? Where all you hearing is the government is shut down. And you know, way back in the day, the families used to be told, oh, get you a government job, because you're going to have a pension, a 401k, you're going to live a good life. In terms of if you had to work all your life, a good job to work out all your life is a government job. But we are in the stage now where even government jobs, it be some flim-flam going on. So they gotta do something when it comes to, they know they're about to lay off a bunch of people, but then they tell a few people, and those people tell one other person, and the next thing you know, the rumor mill has gotten started, and the whole company is on edge thinking, am I going to have a job come tomorrow? So this Condé Nast, there was a few employees that they heard through the grapevine about the layoffs coming down the pipe, and they took themselves up to HR, to the HR office, wanting to speak to the man in charge, telling him they had some questions. Could he come step outside and speak to them and answer the questions that they have? Oh my. 4 people ended up getting fired that day over the confrontation. And we got to talk about, what should I do? There's going to be situations you're going to come across in life, and you need to know the proper way to handle them. And I understand their grievances, and I understand what happened, but there was a proper way to go about doing this, and they missed the mark. They missed the mark. But they wasn't the only ones that missed the mark. I think the HR at that company missed the mark too. And I think the HR people, they had a greater responsibility of doing better, speaking to the people, because you're talking about human beings and their lives, and they got families to feed. So we're going to talk about it. Then we're going to talk about this miraculous survival. We have a news anchor who said she did a lot of stories on DV. And then she said all of a sudden, she became one of the stories, and she never thought in her whole life that that would be her. You know, I don't know if I could say because of society, because of different pressures, because of the way we like to shame people. You want to know where people get shamed a lot? Single mothers. They love to shame us ladies. I swear to goodness. We get shamed left, right, left, upside down, and sideways. If you single and you not married and you don't have no children and they think you look a certain kind of way, if they feel that you're pretty, the first thing they say, oh, you single, what's wrong with you? Then the second you get married, when you want to have kids? Oh, you don't want kids? Did your husband know that? What's wrong with you? Then don't be single with a bunch of kids. They all got all kind of judgment towards you. Because you the single mother with a bunch of kids. Or maybe just a kid. And God forbid, you a single person going to an event with a whole bunch of married people. Then sometimes the married people act like you just the hoe and you about to come there and steal one of their husbands, and you just at the event minding your business looking cute, and you ain't going to be taking nobody's husband because that ain't what you do. Keep your head up, people. Because you mess around, the people around you in society could have you going crazy. And why did I give that whole background story? I gave that whole background story because this young lady, this was her high school sweetheart. Then they lost touch and they met back up again. She ended up pregnant. She had his baby. And she was staying with him. She saw some stuff in him. But she was staying with him because she had his child. That's why I titled this, What Should I Do? I don't care if you got one child or 15. If you see that something ain't right with the person and you got the ability to run and don't look back. Don't let society shame you. Don't get in your head, because who doesn't want their child to grow up with the mother and father? I think everybody wants that, but don't want it to the detriment of self. If it's a wrap, then you got to wrap this thing up and go. The kid's going to be all right, and so will you. So when she didn't want him no more, what'd he do? He tried to take her life. Thank God for her, she survived. But then he ended up taking his own life. And she said it's ironic that I stayed with him because I didn't want my daughter to be without a father. But look, at the end of the day, she don't have one anyway. What should I do? Every now and then, we got to do trending topics and we got to teach a little something. And trust me, we ain't here acting like the end all be all, like we know it all. We just trying to teach a little something. And if we help one person, then we did a lot. Then this last story, this is my belief. I'm not trying to push anybody into believing nothing or saying you got to do this or do that. And Diva is not perfect. But I do believe in divine intervention. There's this boy. He's a young man now. He was adopted. So he never knew his biological mother and father. But ironically, a miracle happens. And I don't want to give away the story because it's so good and I love this story when I seen it. So I ain't going to tell you much. But a miracle happened in this story. And it's a beautiful story. And I'm going to end with that story because, you know, lately we've been ending and it's just been wild and crazy and a lot's been going on. But I found a nice feel-good story for us to end with. And you're going to love it. Not like it, you're going to love it. So listen, people, y'all know what time it is. It's time for me to bring the people on in the building. So I need a what, y'all? I need a choo-choo. Hold aboard, everybody. It is Friday night trending topics, and we got stuff to talk about. The title is called What Should I Do? We got the Condé Nast HR Showdown. It's a showdown. We got the Miraculous survival, and we got the shocking DNA test. Hold on, people. Let me bring the people in the building. Hey, in my opinion.
Hey, Diva. Hit the like button, everybody.
Thank you. Hey, Katrina.
Hey Diva, hey panel, hey chat. Choo choo choo.
Choo, choo, choo. So you know what? We're going to go ahead and get started. We will do this Condé Nast HR showdown. It was a showdown because the people, they in their feelings. And I get they in their feelings. They in their feelings because, listen, people need to eat dinner. And they need to know how they're going to be able to go to the doctor if they sick. And you got the rumor mill going on about people about to get fired. They want to know what's going on. So video shows, hold on one second. Oh, shoot, guys, I'm sorry. Okay, there we go. So video shows Condé Nast employees confront HR chief before firings. Do you think we're not worth speaking to? So the video footage shows Condé Nast employees confronting the company's head of human resources, part of an incident that management characterized as extreme misconduct, leading to 4 unionized staffers firing, a framing which their union rejects. I think they meant to put a firing which their union rejects. The clips filmed Wednesday outside HR chief Stan Duncan's 34th floor office at One World Trade Center in Lower Manhattan show about 20 editorial staffers asking to discuss layoffs tied to Teen Vogue's merger with Vogue.com. Duncan declines to engage, repeatedly directing employees to go back to their workplace before retreating into his office. Video obtained by Rap shows. The most brutally awkward thing you see today, Condé Nast staffers confront head of HR Stan Duncan over layoffs outside his 34th floor office. 4 of the employees featured in this exclusive video from the confrontation were then fired for extreme misconduct. So let's go here. I'm going to have the video in here. We'll get to it. Hold on one second. Let me just stop this from running. Hours later, Condé Nast fired 4 union members who participated in a confrontation. Jasper Lowe of the New Yorker, Jake of Wired, Alma of Bon Appetit, and Ben Dewey of Condé Nast Entertainment, citing gross misconduct and policy violations. Condé Nast also filed a federal labor complaint against the News Guild of New York. One clip shows Duncan asking the employees to stop congregating outside his office before telling them to leave. What counts as congregating? One asks. What's your definition of congregating? We appreciate if you will go back to your workplace assignments, Duncan replies. Is there a place that you would be able to speak to us? Another one asks Duncan, do you think we're not worth speaking to, Sam? Those are your words, not mine, Duncan replies, saying he would not speak to them on Wednesday due to other things going on. But they might be your beliefs, he said. They are not my beliefs, Duncan replies. The exec is then seen walking down the hallway before pointing to another part of the floor, telling the group he was in a meeting and could not meet with them. The exec is then seen walking down the hallway before pointing to another. Oh, I wrote that. We have some quick questions, he says. If you answer them, we'll be happy to go back to our desk. The pictures they're showing are pictures of people that got fired. All right, leave, Duncan said before walking back to his office. After he then presses him on his refusal to answer questions, Duncan insists, I have directed you to go back to your workplace. We're concerned about our colleagues, an employee says off camera. Another clip shows Duncan standing outside his office asking the angry employees to move forward toward the other side of the floor before entering his office and closing the door. "We'd like you to answer questions," another one says. "We love to move forward." Condé Nast suggested there were more to the story than the clip shows. The video footage shared by the union captures only a portion of the incident, a company spokesperson told the Post. Several additional minutes are missing from their version. Condé Nast previously characterized the union's members' conduct as aggressive, disruptive, and threatening behavior, saying it would not be tolerated. The media conglomerate said Thursday it must provide a workplace where every employee feels respected and able to do their job without harassment or intimidation. The company added that the firings follow behavior that crossed the line into targeted harassment and disruption of business operations. Union leaders said the video disproves Condé's justification for the firings. News Guild of New York President Susan told the Wrap that the footage speaks for itself, arguing the workers were clearly exercising their legally protected right to engage in concerned action and that management was inaccurately spinning events to justify firing 4 of our members in the attempt to intimidate our union. The Carvara called Condé management's conduct outrageous and false, accusing executives of trying to bully them into silence. She said demanding answers from management as a group is a common collective action workers take when necessary to hold management accountable. Now, hold on, because I have the video is here. Let me just go back to it. Give me a minute. Hold on. Let me just spin this again. I will play it for y'all. Just 1 second. Here we go.
What's your goal? So everyone, we appreciate if you would go back to the workplace where you're.
Is there a place that you would be able to speak to us?
Not today. We have other things going on.
Do you think we're not worth speaking to, Stan?
Those are your words, not mine.
But they might be your beliefs.
They're not my beliefs.
Oh, okay. So you do think we're worth speaking to?
Everyone should go back to your workplace.
I work here.
To dismiss us instead of talk to us.
You
about
told us
issues
that we
looking
had to
forward.
come work in person here 4 days a week. This is our
So
workplace.
is he like a
now.
hot microphone? What's the problem?
Stan, are you running away from us?
No, I'm directing you back to your place of work.
Okay, where's my place of work?
If you could just go this way, you guys.
Will you come this way with us? No.
No, I'm in a meeting. I'm working.
Okay. Well, we have some quick questions. If you answer them, we'd be happy to go back to our desks.
All right. Thank you.
For you?
Thank you.
You don't want to answer any questions?
I've directed you back to your workplace.
Is that a good answer, guys?
Absolutely not. Come on,
That's
Stan.
not a really good answer, Stan.
We're
Stan, these
concerned
are you.
about our colleagues.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah,
concerned,
we're concerned about our company,
job.
and
You're disengaging with the employees who work here.
Did you let go of P and vote for political reasons? What are you going to do to stand up to the Trump administration?
Whew. In my opinion, your thoughts?
Of course, people go want to know, if there's going to be layoffs or firings when they're hearing about it. So if you don't want people to come confront you about it, then you shouldn't open your mouth before you decide who you're going to lay off or fire.
Thank you. In my opinion, Felicia, your thoughts? Felicia, are you there?
Okay, thank you, Diva, and good evening, everybody. Yeah, I got a lot of thoughts about what I just saw.
Okay.
I've been in the American workplace a long time, and there's always been layoffs and restructuring and people getting fired. That I've never seen before. People gathered in a hallway, kind of encroaching on the office of the HR person and making that person uncomfortable. But what I didn't hear was, well, why didn't you answer our email, or when do you plan to talk to the staff, or something like that. So I don't want to lean too much on either side. It seemed to me uncomfortable. And I would have liked to have seen things done differently. Maybe that group that gathered, makes plans to meet up after work and come up with an agenda on how to approach not just HR, but management on a whole in writing and ask those questions. But I'm not saying they didn't do that. I'm just saying that what was shared with us, I didn't think looked professional. Now, for the folks who may not know, there's always a list. Even when there isn't going to be a cutback, there's always a list. This is what performance reviews are about.
Come on, talk to the people.
Well, that's how they rank. What is your value in terms of your coworkers or your co-peers? And, that's what the performance review really is about. If you're going to get a raise, you're going to get a raise. So why do they got to go through asking you all these questions and talking about all these damn competencies and all this stuff year in and year out? Because they're always updating and keeping an active list on who they value and who they don't value as much. Another important piece here, clearly these group of people talk to each other. So somebody or a couple of somebodies in that group knew about the list and knew who was in danger of being let go. I think it's real important that you always keep your ears open and be very observant so that when things like this are going down, you don't get caught up not knowing or get caught up in the wrong group. Because according to Diva, 4 people lost their job behind this.
Yeah.
And the one thing I will say to you always, you never want to leave a job without a stream of revenue coming in. So when you get fired versus getting laid off or resigning, let's say because workload, too much stress, toxic workplace, things like that, they can interfere with your unemployment. They can also challenge any investments that you may have in a 401k if they were matching or things like that. And they can terminate your benefits immediately. So if I'm fired at 10 o'clock, my benefits are pretty much a wrap maybe at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock that day. So it puts you in a very bad position. So I am a warrior and I am very brave and I am very strong, but I'm also very smart and I'm a strategist. So I'm not going to go up to the HR by myself or with anybody else without an appointment, prior communication, and they're going to be a select group of people who they have said can come up. So I don't know in that group who was the head of the union, who might have been the secretary of the union, who may have been the treasurer, the vice president. I wasn't clear. Again, I'm not calling that out to say that those people were not, but from that little clip, I could not tell. However, we know going forward, this is just the beginning. These things are going to start coming down. These massive layoffs. We've had 48,000 people lose their job in the last 2 days from major companies. And it's going to be a lot more before Thanksgiving, and it's going all the way through to the new year. Really, try not to be in your feelings. Get the facts. If somebody comes to you, this is my counsel to you, and you're at work and they say, I don't know if you know, but you on the list. You say, thank you so much, and you keep working. Okay? Don't jump up. Don't go be confrontational. Just keep working. When your lunch break comes, come up with a strategy. How you going to find out if you need to find out. Now, me, I've been up here on Diva's panel for I don't know how long. I've told you they have put me out, pushed me out, thrown me out. Said, you got to go today, go at 10, go at 1. But my key is always, I don't leave without a stream of income. So we're going to sit down. We're going to talk about how I'm going to exit here. And if I don't exit in the manner that I feel I was worthy of being exited on, then we're going to have a lawsuit. So you can always negotiate your exit. Just try not to get caught up in your feelings. And those coworkers who may come to you and tell you they saw the list, your name is on it, please don't give them all that energy. Take that pause, pray up, lunch break, go strategize, talk to someone outside of where you work. Don't give into this stuff like this. This only causes people to lose their jobs, their benefits, any matching funds, their health benefits, and then on top of that, not get a good reference. I'm done.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Savannah, your thoughts?
Hey Diva, hey panel, and hey chat. I think just by seeing this clip and also by personal experience lately, employees appreciate transparency from their leadership and some empathy too, because of the times that we're living in. You just don't know. There's really no job security right now, and I really am seeing this across every industry, whether it's government or private industry. Tenure doesn't matter anymore. Seniority doesn't matter, and in some cases even skill set. But I'm finding that HR or the people that have the decision makers on who they keep and who they let go, it's more than just what is the betterment of the company and moving the program forward. There's also politics that come involved, when it also gender, and in some cases I'm even seeing race. For some reason, there has been, I think the number is 400,000 African American women that have lost their job in the last 8 months. And there's a reason for that. So these companies are being brutal in how they are showing their employees the exit door. I've never seen a group of employees surround like that, and that just goes to show the culture in this company, the lack of communication, and also there's a lot of mistrust going on here. So I'm not sure what the role was of the person that they were trying to confront, but he does owe his employees, if not an explanation, at least some information and guidance on this, whether there's a drawdown or is a company moving in a different direction, because people have to prepare. They have to have, like Felicia just said, have a second stream of income coming in if it's a dual household where both people are working to contribute. So that is a little bit of relief. But if you're just single on your own doing it, and making ends meet every month is a challenge. So this is going to continue happening in every organization, regardless of whether it's private or government. And employees really need to go back and look at their skill sets and kind of pivot of where you're at right now and go maybe in a different direction, because these companies are being brutal in how they let you go.
Yeah, it's a lot. Katrina, your thoughts?
Yeah, Diva, my thoughts are these CEOs and these HR management and supervisors are they've putting themselves in a big risk. My thing is, if you let somebody go and you're not telling them, but they hearing it from somebody else, you don't know what's in that person's mind. Half the time we see a lot of people goes back in there and annihilate the whole entire company. You telling these people this and they're not getting no understanding, then they realize that they don't have a job anymore. Then they come back up there with pow-pows and want to get rid of the whole corporation. they need to be careful on how they letting these people go, because some people do not have a stable mind, and they feel like they're losing everything that they got because they're losing their jobs. And as Felicia said, they need a different stream of income instead of just depending on that one. But like I said, they need to be careful on how they firing these people, when they telling these people they got to leave. Because right now, these people at this point, they don't care. And they feel like, if I'm losing my stream of income, let me get rid of yours. But good luck to everybody out there. I pray that everybody finds some solace. I pray that everybody finds some stress relievers and be calm, because your emotions can take you through a way that you like my mom used to always tell me, trouble is easy to get into, but it's hard to get out of. Just stay focused. That's all I got.
Stay focused. You know, I feel bad. I think an unstable person is going to be an unstable person no matter which way you get rid of them. If they that unstable and they're going to come back and try something, that's what they're going to do. But I do also believe that I wish the way these companies are doing is very brutal, it's very cold. I'm trying to think of that darn movie where it was a pretty good movie too, where all he did for a living was go around and fire people. Clooney did it. I forget, you know, I'll find the name of the movie later. But anyway, my thing is, yeah, it's stressful working in corporate America. It's stressful working now everywhere. Because I did a story today in McDonald's where this woman, she was upset and she threw coffee at the manager. It's just George Clooney. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for that day. Y'all be saving me when I'm having my thoughts in my head, like what person am I trying to think of here? Yeah, Air was called Air something, right? Yes, thank you, Amy J. But you know, so I just think they can be kinder. The end is the end of the job, right? But just because it's the end, you can, you know, say it in a certain way. You can, you know, be more kind when you do this. It's just, I just wish that there is a better way to do it. This is Diva's opinion, and I wish that they would find the better way to do it, like answer the people questions. And although they came to them wrong, you are HR. You could have turned that thing around and said, listen, instead of pretty much go back to your workplace, I think it could have been like, you know what? Yeah, I understand y'all have concerns. I understand that y'all perhaps heard something, you know, about, you know, the layoffs or whatever. And I understand all your concerns. But right now I am in a meeting. So let me look at my calendar, see what I can find. We will set up an appropriate conference room, and I will have the appropriate individuals in there, including myself from HR, to talk to everyone, answer questions, and address some things. Because 100% wholeheartedly, when you hear that there's a merger between Vogue and Teen Vogue and Vogue.com, you're automatically going to think like, oh my God, well, a diva over there at Teen Vogue, she does the same thing I do over here at Vogue. So is one of us going to be gone? What's going to happen here? Well, they got 3 managers over there at Teen Vogue, and we got 3 over here. Or is part of our, am I going to get a new manager? Am I about to lose my job? I think that is good business as a heads up, to instead of having the people guessing and wondering, you nip that thing in the bud before any curiosity or anything like that comes in. It's just called what I say, just being kind to your fellow humans, right? Because today you doing it to me, and tomorrow is being done to you. And then it ain't going to feel so good when the boomerang comes back around. Yes, Felicia, before I move on to the next story.
Thank you, Diva. First off, I have always been Black in America, and nothing other than. So what I'm seeing has always been my experiences in the workplace. There has never been a situation whereas me, a Black woman, felt any kind of job security. I don't care where I was. There was no safety net. It wasn't about the skill set. It was about everything else, how they determined who had value and who did not. And the second thing I think is happening here is confidentiality. I think people are leaking a lot of information.
That is
And
fact.
so my thoughts are telling me this HR person was not aware that there was a breach. And yes, he could have handled it differently, but he probably was a little stunned. Again, I have been part of a union. I've been a part of a couple of unions. You have union reps who reach out to management, and then there's some kind of sit down. How are we going to do this? How are we going to bring it to the people? I don't know what that was outside the door. And I'm really sorry that 4 of those people lost their jobs behind that. That was really, really a bad thing to have happen, because we know everyone isn't courageous and everyone's not brave. So you're going to have the sellouts. They've already sold out. Because they're trying to keep their job. And then you have the ones that say, well, this isn't right. What are we going to do? You could have gone ahead of that and moved strategically in a way to protect the interest of everyone, not just have those who were a little bit more assertive and now they're out. So we'll see. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. Is it 48's birthday? Well, happy birthday, 48. I'm seeing birthday wishes in the chat there. Happy birthday, 48.
Yes.
November baby.
She said it's her birthday, but she's sick, so she's just watching in the background.
All right. Well, happy birthday and feel better. Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? We're gonna move on because this story we could do a lot of teaching in it. And yes, I can guess that he might have been stunned, right? But if you're the chief of HR, and he looked, he looked like he was older, like perhaps in the diva age bracket. You should have already have seen a lot, been through a lot when it comes to this laying off and firing thing. As a chief of HR, I expect better and more from you. I just personally do, because nowadays you can Google, you can read, you can get a book, you can do anything to find out how to handle and de-escalate situations. And you in HR, out of all the people, should know how to do all of the above. But I'm going to go ahead and move into this next story. The story of DB, a miraculous survival for her. And, again, remember the title is, What Should I Do? Right? So we're trying to learn lessons in all of these things that, we are seeing and going on in these particular stories. So let me share a screen here.
In tonight's cover story, domestic violence impacting one of our team members here at WGN.
Our Winne Dortch wants to tell her story, and WGN's Dina Bear is here to bring it to you.
In tonight's cover story, one of Chicago's very own has a story to tell, and we have the privilege and great responsibility of bringing it to you. 1 year ago, an event that almost kept her from ever coming back home to Chicago and here to WGN. It's a story about love, jealousy, anger, and a life-altering crime. And it's a story about survival.
I'm trying to find the right word. When I look at the WGN sign, I'm in awe because I didn't think I would make it there. I thought I would be dead.
911.
Yes, my daughter is being attacked. I'm Winne Dortch, and I'm a victim of a domestic violence shooting.
Winne grew up in Chicago's East Garfield Park neighborhood, already having an understanding of the many stories of violence she covers. Is it triggering for you to cover the kinds of stories you experienced firsthand?
The irony of this all, I do connect with victims. The victim is 20 years old. Gun violence victims, shooting victims, because you were in their shoes. The suspect shot her twice in the face. The 20-year-old was pronounced dead at the University of Chicago Hospital. There was one particular story I was covering where a woman was shot in the face, and I instantly thought about myself. I'm grateful to be alive, but I'm grateful to be able to work a job.
Say hello. Come on. Take me back to the time when you were happy.
Bryant and I went to high school together. He was quite popular, a funny guy. And so fast forward years later in 2018, met back up again. I just fell for him all over again.
9 months later, she had a baby girl.
I remember he was so happy. I couldn't believe we were here together. I remember breaking down in the hospital, and here he's one of those people like, hey, stop crying. Why are you whining? Come on, chin up. Stop being a crybaby. And I'm like, okay. After Kaylee was born, I just feel like we weren't really seeing eye to eye then.
Winne kept moving forward from the job in Flint, Michigan to Milwaukee, then reporter in Cleveland. As her career was on the rise, life with Bryant got worse.
We would argue so much over the phone. I remember one time I said, I want to go to my college homecoming. What do you want to go there for? You know, be a whore? I was called very vulgar names. I've been punched before, pushed, choked. Yeah. It got so bad one time, he went to my mom's house and like threatened to shoot up my mom's house. It was mental abuse, making me feel like I don't mean anything. It was physical. It was emotional, like taxing, because I did love him and I wanted to be a family. Thinking about that, I wish I would have took the bad route of just like letting go years and years ago. I grew up in a 2-parent home. I had my mother and my father. So for me, working it out with the person that you have a child with, that's important to me.
In 2024, she made a difficult decision.
So I moved out of our house in Cleveland while he was away in Houston on Father's Day weekend. He didn't know anything about it.
Then she got the job offer she's waited on her entire career. Reporter for the Chicago station she grew up watching. Her heart was full.
The issue came in, well, I didn't want to live with him when we got back to Chicago.
In July 2024, Winne filed a police report and requested an order of protection from Bryant Carter under the Illinois Domestic Violence Act. But like many in her situation, she let the restraining order lapse.
So tell me about the day outside your daughter's school.
Her school was on a side street, so I turned down the street and I see his vehicle. So I'm like, okay, why is he here? So I take Kaylee to her classroom. I come out. He moved his vehicle up closer to the main street. I'm like, okay, what's going on? I get in my car. I go down the street on my way to work. He hits the back of the car. So I immediately get on the phone and I call my mom and I tell her what's going on.
Her mother dialed 911.
She's screaming and hollering. I had to hang up. He done hit her car.
At gunpoint, Bryant pulled Winne out of her car and forced her into his.
Please, hurry up. She's screaming.
Okay, ma'am, we're getting them there.
And I remember him saying, you know, if you get out, I'll shoot you.
What do you think would have happened if you stayed in the car?
I would have been dead. I manually unlocked the door, got out, and ran. And I remember falling.
I'm about to have a heart attack.
Ma'am, hold on. I have him on the way. 1 second.
I'm just looking at the blood. And then I have to turn around because I'm thinking he's coming to me after that fall. No, instead I turn around and he's flat on his back.
He took his own life.
Yes, he shot himself in the mouth.
Winne woke 3 days later in the hospital, unable to speak.
I was shot in the mouth, which that hurts the most because that's part of my career. Like, I feel like he took something from me. I had to have work in my mouth done because my tongue was severed in such a way on this side. I had stitches in my tongue. They had to sew this back up. They had to sew my face back up because the bullet went through. And so I remember in the hospital bed when I came to, my family and friends were there. And they said I couldn't speak, obviously, because I was shot in the mouth, but I was able to write. Being a journalist, you're gonna write. And the only thing I kept asking about on that piece of paper was, do I still have my job at WGN? You wait your whole life to get your dream job. And just like weeks after you get the job offer, you're shot.
WGN held Winnie's position until she was physically able to work, but her recovery continues.
My teeth, you know,
All right, I'm going to put that little post in here.
Winnie's dentist, Dr. Michael Acierno, replaced her lost teeth with implants.
Let's see.
Tears as the holes in her mouth are restored, filling her with renewed confidence. But even with the smile, pain is still an everyday occurrence for Winnie.
I thought I did what was best for my child in the moment. Allowing her daddy to be there and grow up with her father. And again, the irony of that. Now her father isn't here. Even though I'll never get closure from this, this is part of my healing. I was always telling someone's story. I was never the story. I never wanted to be the story. This isn't just about me. You know, yes, it happened to me, but it goes beyond that. This is an inspirational story for other people who may be experiencing the same thing. I'm Winne Dortch, and I'm a survivor.
We admire Winnie for her bravery every day, but most importantly for telling her story in an effort to help others. Domestic violence is all too common, so if you or someone you know is experiencing any type of domestic abuse, know that you are not alone. Reach out for help. The domestic violence hotline number is at the bottom of your screen, 800-799-SAFE. You can call anytime, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Whew, I know it's a lot. In my opinion, your thoughts?
I'm glad she got out. A lot of people don't make it out. So for that, I am so thankful that she made it out. It's hard because a lot of people go through this in silence. And they suffer in silence, and they don't know if they're doing the right thing, or they won't stay with them because of the kids, or because they feel like they can't make it. I want everybody to know that no matter what, you can make it without this person. Love does not hurt you. It doesn't hit. It doesn't harm you. This is not love. This was a man who was damaged and was trying to destroy her. And through it all, she made it. I pray that she continues to grow and she understands that this was not her fault.
Appreciate you. Felicia, your thoughts?
I'll take a pass, Diva. Thank you.
Katrina, your thoughts?
Yeah, Diva, this was an insecure man who was jealous of his girl because she was thriving, and he did some unthinkable things to her. And the first thing is, ladies, if they hit you, they're gonna do it again. Especially if you keep going back and going back and going back. They're not gonna stop because they don't have no reason to stop. They know that they do it. They'll tell you I love you and all this type of stuff, and you'll fall back into it again. But just know that first hit, a real man won't even hit a dog. So if a man is putting his hands on you, he don't value at all. And find a way to get out of it because it's not gonna be good. Either you gonna take him out or he's gonna take you out or something worse. And blessed to her that she's, thriving and keeping her daughter and trying to keep the same mind, knowing what she went through. So I just wish her all the best, and I wish her her daughter all the best. And that's what I got.
Thank you. Amy J, your thoughts?
I actually was watching this, and I watched a number of the videos because she got interviewed by all three of the stations she worked for. One in Cleveland, one in Chicago, and one in it was another part that she worked at. And what I said when I was watching it, I was like, I think we all do this, especially Black women, when we want to do something and then we want that survivor's guilt. You want to bring people along. And although y'all had this jovial friendship when y'all were in high school, I don't think it would have pulled her across the line in regards to what she wanted for her life and what he probably didn't have to get that supportive way. I had the same discussion with a girlfriend when she said her husband didn't go to college and he didn't understand why on homecoming, why people want to go back for homecoming. He saw it as opportunity for the wife to cheat. Where some people are just going back to see what their friends have gone and what they're working on and they can benefit from it. So listening to this story, it just makes me so sad because when it comes to the genders, black women and black men, you see this immense educational gap, and it's now creating these like toxic relationships because I think the girls are going to the relationship looking for a piece of home, and the guys are going to a relationship trying to be this person, but they don't even know who they are. Like it
Mm.
makes to me, she moved several states to get jobs, and he was going along for the ride. And I was like, what was he doing?
Mm.
Clearly, he didn't have a career where he can say, I don't think I can do that, but we can meet back up or come together on the weekend. It just seemed that they were just not equally yoked, and there was not enough people, elders, I'll say, that can come in and counsel the man more so than the woman, because this is probably going to be a hit on his ego. And that makes me sad because that girl was suffering in silence.
She
She was
was.
hiding it from her coworkers because it's embarrassing. You don't want to say the person I love does not have regulations over his temper. Like he cannot regulate his emotions. That's embarrassing. I've been in situations like that where you're trying to be on one way, you go to work and you want to present a certain way, but you also know when people find those things out about you, in most cases they'll feel sympathy, but they don't take you seriously anymore. So I understood exactly why she was hiding everything and trying to work it out with him when he showed signs of like common sense to be with her. But it's sad that this became public, and I hope she can turn it around and make it better for a lot of girls who don't think they can speak or don't think that anyone can see you beyond the victim role or the survivor role, and see that you were a whole person who was driven. You graduated 2 schools. She has an undergrad and a master's degree. She has given a lot to that to the journalism field, and she has a space where she can possibly grow and become a next Oprah. We're just hoping that she can get past what happened in the beginning. That's all. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Thank you for that. Savannah, your thoughts?
No, I completely agree with what everyone is saying. And I appreciate her for sharing her story
Mhm.
because there are probably um, women, and more than likely women and some men, going through some of the same events that she endured. Disagreements in any relationship, those things are normal. It's part of being in a relationship. But when they become frequent or patterns, and you start doubting yourself and your safety, then something's wrong. And you have to be able to acknowledge that and take a look at that, even if you have to say it out loud. And ironically, the one thing that she wanted to keep this person around, knowing, that she was going through some uh, abusive times with him, it was because she wanted her daughter to have a father in the little girl's life. But the man wasn't well. He obviously was not well. So I appreciate her for sharing her story. I think she will be able to reach a lot of women and young ladies who are going through something very similar, and be able to maybe start some nonprofits or work with other um, foundations that deal with DV, because she has the perfect platform to reach people and share her story and how she was able to survive something so horrific. Because by the grace of God, to have be for it to happen in your mouth, that is complete restructure of her facials. That was a lot of facial surgeries and things that she had to overcome to even be able to speak as well as she does, just learning all of that again and having your cheeks sewn back in. I mean, I think she has a powerful story that she could be sharing with others, other people that are going through something similar, because the signs are there. The signs were there for her too, and she ignored them. She dismissed them. And as they said, she was climbing and bringing him along just so that her daughter could have a father, but at the risk of her own safety. It wasn't worth it.
Yeah, at the risk of our own safety. Very sad. Whew.
I wanted to add one more thing, Diva, is that okay?
Yeah, of course.
I mean, I just see a lot of this in my generation, a lot of girls that when they go on the college campuses and they really do go with a dream and they're hardworking. And I'm not saying that the men cannot match it, but we as a community have to create a space for men to stop so they can start living out their dreams. Because I remember one day I was talking with some men and they were very disgruntled about how some women treat them because they feel like they have more than them, whatever. But I can see in her situation, there was such a lack of care. They had a family photo and he had like a do-rag on his head. And the daughter was dressed up and and the mom was dressed up, but he showed up with something that you put on your hair to like help you wrap your hair at night. That was like to me the biggest sign that I think this man has checked out a long time ago. And I don't think he likes that you're trying to do something better for yourself. And it's sad. And I guess I've seen it so many times, I get sad when I see it.
Yeah, definitely a lot of issues, and I do think it was purposeful that he shot her in the mouth. I think he had a lot of resentment towards her in her job, and I really believe that's why he shot her in the mouth. But very sad. I'm glad she survived, and I'm glad she seems to be thriving, and may she continue to heal and be okay. This last story that I'm going to show, I just love it. I'm just going to go ahead and show it. I think it's a really good story, and I do think divine intervention happened in this particular story.
Smith, all roads led to football, their talents letting them soar as college athletes before launching them to the NFL. Smith capping off his career as a coach for the Seattle Seahawks, and McCullough now the running backs coach for the Las Vegas Raiders.
Ball security tight all day, Sin City.
These two were a generation apart but led parallel paths.
Both of us had great careers at Miami. Both of us in the Hall of Fame at Miami. Both of us go on to play professional. Both of our careers end because of knee surgeries, multiple knee surgeries. Both of us, after playing football, get into education. Both of us go to the Super Bowl multiple times. And unfortunately, both of us lose to Tom Brady. Okay?
Their stories would first intersect when 17-year-old Dylan got a personal visit from Smith, the Miami of Ohio coach who recruited him and changed his life forever.
The minute you met him, and perhaps maybe after you started working with him, was there anything that felt familiar?
Just the connection.
The statement that I would make to the players as I coached them, I would say, you may not be looking for a father, but I'm going to treat you like you're my son.
Orphaned at birth and later adopted, Dylan grew up in a single-parent home in Youngstown, Ohio. Coach Smith became the steady father figure Dylan never had. From the highs of reaching the NFL as a running back and later as a coach, to the crushing lows.
In the last preseason game, the last 2 minutes, I get a catastrophic knee injury.
Pep talks from Coach Smith seemed to land at just the right times.
And we just had a great conversation. This is just a setback, for a great comeback.
Dylan credits his adoptive and supportive mother, Adele Comer, for raising him. And it wasn't until he was married and a father himself when he began searching for his roots. First, his adoption records led him to his birth mother.
Come to find out, we were only 10 minutes from each other.
Then came the stunning truth about his father.
So I said, well, shoot, who's my dad? And she said, your dad is a man named Sherman Smith.
That's right, Coach Smith, Dylan's lifelong mentor, friend, and role model, was in fact his biological father.
And then when you guys met for the first time as father and son, do you remember that moment?
He opened the door and he just opened his arms. He said, "My son."
While Smith knew Dylan's mother when they were teens, he never knew she had given birth to their child. His unknown bond with Dylan and that remarkable surprise decades later was something he could only describe as divine.
There's no way you could write this, all these connections. You just have to believe that this is God's directing our steps.
Comparisons between the two followed them for years before they knew they were father and son. Raiders head coach Pete Carroll, who used to work with both of them at the Seahawks, called them out on their similarities.
It was just kind of spooky. It makes me chuckle all the time. I see the looks, I see the mannerisms. It's just a magnificent story.
A story that began on the field became a book and is now being considered for the big screen.
I want Denzel Washington.
Okay.
to play my-
You put it out there.
I'm putting it out there, Denzel. I want you to know that. Here it is. I'm in the NFL.
Football brought this family together.
Here's where it all started. February 1991 signing date. Sitting here with Coach Sherman Smith.
And faith is now guiding their steps forward.
That's an incredible story. Yeah, so those family reunions have certainly grown a lot larger since this revelation, and the men say they make it a point to get together as often as possible. And like what struck me about Dylan was that when he found out, he said he was blessed because he's longed for a person like Sherman Smith his entire life.
It's so beautiful, and the
Yeah.
fact that they sort of had that father-son relationship and gravitated to one another the whole time, and then to find out it's biological too.
Yeah.
Oh.
I wonder if they knew somewhere or suspected along the way. There's
No,
something different
apparently
here.
nothing.
Not at all.
Nothing, yeah.
Wow.
The entire
Well, it's just a cherry on top because father figures come in different packages.
Yes.
So he had that in him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But to find out that they're biologically related is just like, that's where it's like, this has to be from God.
It's a stunner. I know. I was going to say, I'm with him. It's divine and beautiful.
And a movie.
Yes.
Denzel, if you're watching.
Exactly. Let's manifest.
Michael B. Jordan,
Yeah.
Jamie Foxx. Let's get these guys going.
Yes.
Let's go.
We have the movie right there.
All right. Kathy, thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Kathy.
It's a stunner.
Hey, thanks for watching. And don't forget, you can.
I thought that was a beautiful story. In my opinion, your thoughts?
What an amazing story. Not him meeting his dad and thinking that he was a role model as a dad, and come to find out he really is his dad.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is an amazing story. Divine intervention at its greatest. Sometimes the things that we pray for the most, God will put it right there in our steps, and we don't know it until the time is right. And I put it there for a reason. Amazing story. I love it.
Love it. Thank you so much. Felicia, your thoughts?
I'll pass, Diva. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Katrina, your thoughts?
Yes, Diva, and not to take away from your story, I just want to send condolences to Marshawn Nealon, the football player that was found unalive yesterday. And you know, these guys go out for football and they try to do the best they can because they know if they make it, you know, they make it. And for him to be there, and the mom never told him who his father was, he could have showed him how to play football from when he was younger. You know what I mean? Yes, I'm happy that he found him now, but just imagine what would happen if he knew him younger. But it is a good story, and I'm just happy he got his father right now. That's all I got.
Thank you. He was adopted, so he didn't even know his mother. Savannah,
Oh, wow.
your thoughts? Savannah, are you there? I don't know. We might have lost Savannah too. All right, guys, listen. I appreciate y'all being here. You know, the HR story, again, the title is What Should I Do? The HR story, you know, hindsight is everything too, right? So I would just say that, you know, let us all learn from this. On both sides, I think something different and better could have happened. Our young lady with the DV, I'm glad she is still here, but I would say to everybody out there, go with your instincts. If something's telling you to leave and move forward, just leave and move forward. And when you see them, because she saw him at the school, right? And not to say that she could have really did anything different at that point, because she did have a restraining order too. And I didn't know, like, I guess you gotta once the restraining order expires, you got to make sure you go back and you get another one. It's just it's crazy. It's sad. And I even if the restraining order was in place, though, I don't know in this particular situation how it would have helped her, because he ended up taking his life too. And then we got the shocking DNA twist, which I thought was just a beautiful, beautiful story. God bless the father and the son, right? Who found out that there was more of a connection than we ever even knew, right? Divine intervention for sure. Hey, Sandra. Listen, guys, I appreciate y'all being here. You know the routine. If you ain't hit that like button on the way in, hit the like button on the way out. Good night and goodbye, everybody. Choo, choo.
Choo, choo, choo. Savannah said she'll be right back, but I guess